Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cup of Chai. This is a new weekly podcast series hosted by Sky Academy. We're in a situation right now where we're all trapped in our houses, so we thought we can make this project happen to provide insight and knowledge to those interested. This podcast will consist of weekly meetings with experts in their fields, no matter what the subject, whether it's sports, news, psychology, theology, philosophy, law, or anything. We hope you enjoy and stick around. This podcast is being recorded on March 29th, 2020. This week's topics are stress and coping by Adil, video conferencing by Enes, NBA and other major leagues by Asim, and weekly meetings by Matthew. Our first speaker is Adil.
Hello. How was everyone? How's it going?
Good. How are you, Mr. Adil?
Not too bad, not too bad. Lots of things going on, of course. And, we decided, thank you for inviting me we decided we should talk about stress and coping around this unprecedented times that,
Thank you. Can you first introduce yourself?
yes. So my name is Adil. I'm currently a second year Master of Social Work student in New York University, and I'm about to graduate, fingers crossed, in May. And I work within the mental health field. I've been involved with for the past two or so years. And so today I want to talk about stress and coping around, COVID-19. And I know a lot of things might be going on. Yeah. And just to get right into it, I know that, one of the first things that we had over the past couple of weeks was at first, we thought that this was not going to hit us, right? And 3 weeks ago we weren't stuck home. We were still going to work, going to school, and at that time we were kind of joking around, maybe perhaps, but and this sort of what we call is the optimism bias, which is what we can essentially describe as us thinking that something negative such as COVID-19 or this outbreak will not happen to us. It won't come to us. It won't impact us. But slowly, things got worse, right? It impacted us. Now we can't go to school. We're stuck home. We can't see our friends, and there's a lot of stress and stress around the future or what's going on right now. And I'm sure, Jonah, you're stressed yourself. We all are, right?
Definitely. I've been stuck in my house for 2 weeks now. It's really stressing.
Same with me. It's about to be 2 weeks tomorrow exactly, and and we know that everyone reacts differently to stressful situations, and how you respond to the outbreak can depend on your background, the things that make you different from people, and the community that you live in. And we know children and teens, or or older people, and people with chronic diseases they can react to this in drastically different ways. But one of the things that we want to talk about today is kind of managing that stress that we all have, right? So one of the things that can pop up in our heads is fear and worry about our own health or the health of our loved ones, such as our family, our friends. And then this can impact our changes in sleep. It can impact us in ways of changes in our sleep, our eating patterns. We can have difficulty sleeping or concentrating, so on and so forth. And I want to talk about today, how do we kind of break the cycle and how do we manage this, right? Because this is most likely happening to all of our audience, or most of them, not to put everyone under this. But I think one very important thing is, and I hope everyone is staying home like us, but one very important thing is to keep ourselves occupied, right? We need to take care of ourselves. We need to take care of our body and our mind. And body-wise, we can talk about sleeping well, eating well, getting enough nutrition. It might sound silly, but we say this to everyone that we work with. Take care of our body in a ways of taking regular showers, right, and resting well. If you want to sleep in a couple more hours than you would on a usual school week, that's okay, right? And so take care of yourself. Emotionally, things may get a little tricky, but let's talk about that, right? So first thing we talked about was taking care of your body, and the second is our mind and our emotional well-being. So one thing I would strongly encourage everyone to do is connect with others, right? Share your concerns, share how you're feeling with a friend or a family member, and maintain these healthy relationships and build a strong strong support system, and continue to build on your relationships, right? Your friends are going to be there when this is all over, but isolating yourself to a point where you're not able to manage the stress is not something helpful, right? So we encourage everyone to connect with others and stay informed, right? Stay informed about what's going on, not just around you and in your community, but globally as well. Not just with people that you know or your loved ones that you have, but globally, right? So what's going on? But I would kind of put in here, I would encourage everyone to avoid too much exposure to the news, because things are getting slowly worse and worse. But something like this, something like a pandemic, as Center for Disease Control or World Health Organization are telling us, it may get worse before it gets better. But we all play a part in this, right? And one major thing that we're doing is staying home, staying isolated, and staying safe. And again, right, I would encourage to avoid too much exposure to the news. It may not be helpful for everyone. And also, I encourage everyone to, again, stay connected with friends and with yourselves. These times allow us to allow us the hours to sit with our feelings. They might be uncomfortable for some people, but then we encourage everyone to do this because it's helpful, right? And share those concerns, please, everyone. Share the concerns that you may have, the concerns that you have for yourself, or the concerns that you have for a friend or a family member. These will be extremely beneficial in the long run, I think.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for, again, inviting me over here. I think you guys are doing a great project. And I lastly want to add, encouraging everyone to keep informed, and and look up things on the web, on things around keeping yourself occupied, or keeping your well-being on a positive level. And there are great resources on mental health websites, and CDC also has great resources. I would encourage everyone to look up those.
Thank you for your time. Stay safe.
You too. No problem. Thanks.
So our next speaker is Mr. Enes, and he will be talking about video conferencing.
Hello, Mr. Enes. How are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good, thank you. So video conferencing that we're using right now, and most of our fellow audience will probably be using or started using this whole entire week. And let me first speak about my profession. My name is Anas. I'm a senior student in computer science in Montclair State University, and I'm here to talk about tech. In generally, there's a lot of things coming up, especially these days with technology. Everything is changing, but with the pandemic, just wanted to give an insight this week on the video conferencing, how it began, and how the things happening at the beginning, so we can get a little more sense of it, of the technology that we're using most commonly today. And the first concepts of video conferencing were developed in 1870s as a part of an extension of audio devices. The first actual development of the video telephone began in the late 1920s with the AT&T company in Bell Labs and John Lodge Baird. AT&T experimented with video phones in 1927. Bell Labs is actually here in New Jersey. It's kind of 1 hour away from where I reside, and it's actually so cool to have a place so big, so important in the world's history, to be so near. I've actually visited it one time. It was so cool. And they've renovated the building. It's looks really nice. Bell Labs is not there, they're not doing those research there right now. There's some other companies, but I would recommend everyone to go have a visit if they have time. But stay home these days. Don't go out these days. When it finishes, you can. After that, the widespread use of video conference began with the computer revolution of the 1980s. Transmitting video images became particular for personal use once the data communications components were in place, such as the advent of video codecs, along with the rise of the broadband services such as internet. webcams began to appear in the early 1990s on universities' campuses. The first commercial webcam introduced on the market in August 1994 was called QuickCam, which was compatible with Mac. A PC version was released the following year. Time magazine actually named QuickCam one of the top computer devices of all time in 2010. So it's about 10 years ago. And this is one of the first video conference software is See You, See Me. Actually, the name is so funny. It's like, can you see me? So they started in 1994. It was in Cornell IT department. And helped usher the first internet radio stations. It was released commercially in 1995. This is kind of the history that I want to give to our audiences about how video conferencing started and how it come to what it is today.
Thank you so much for that information, Mr. Enes.
You're welcome. And a note I want to give to our audience would be, please don't forget to comment on what kind of tech that they want to hear, because there's a lot of tech coming out. We don't know what particular area that our audience is interested in. That's why they can maybe tweet about what things they want to hear. And thank you. Stay home, video conference, and have a safe week.
Thank you so much. Okay, our next speaker will be Mr. Asim, and we'll be shortly switching to Turkish for his commentary on the NBA and other major leagues. Merhaba.
Merhaba Yunus. Senin de bahsettiğin gibi ben NBA ve Major Lig'ler hakkında birkaç şey söylemek istiyorum.
Hı hı.
Spor çoğumuzun hayatında değerli bir yere sahip. Bazen günlük hayatımızın rutinimizden kaçmak için, biraz rahatlamak için akşam bir eve geldiğimizde maç izlemek istiyoruz. Tabii Avrupa'daki maçları bize bazen gündüz geliyor. Onları çok izleyemeyebiliyoruz ama mümkün olduğunca takip etmeye çalışıyoruz. İnsanlar açısından çok rahatlatıcı, bir araya getirici, sosyalleştirici bir şey spor. Ve evrensel bir şey de olduğu için dünyayı da bir araya getiriyor. Biliyorsun Dünya Kupası olsun, Avrupa Şampiyonası olsun ya da kıtaların kendi kupaları oluyor. Şimdi bütün ligler iptal edildi. Şu an tarihi de tam belli değil. Ama şu an bütün ligler durduruldu. Birkaç bildiğim kadarıyla Belarus ve Afrika'da oynanan birkaç lig dışında çok fazla oynanan lig kalmadı dünyada. Bu noktaya nasıl geldik? Ben bundan bahsetmek istiyorum. Bu koronavirüs olayı ilk çıktığında ben kendi adıma da bunu söyleyebilirim. Bu kadar büyüyeceğini düşünmemiştim ve çoğu insan da beklemiyordu bunu. Devletler de beklemiyordu çoğunlukla. 11 Mart günü NBA takım sahipleri bir toplantı yaptılar ve şu konuyu konuştular. Lige devam edecek miyiz? Devam edeceksek seyirciyle mi devam edeceğiz? Nasıl yapacağız? O toplantıda şöyle bir karar çıktı. Lige devam edilecek, durum kötüleşirse seyircisiz oynanır diye bir karar çıktı. Çok ilginçtir. Bundan birkaç saat sonra Utah Jazz oyuncusu Rudy Gobert'in korona testi sonucu pozitif çıktı. Ve bu bütün bilinen, konuşulan, planlanan şeyleri çöpe atmış oldu. İlk önce o akşamki bütün maçların oynanmasını iptal etti. Çok kısa süre içinde ligi durdurduğunu ve takım sahipleriyle ertesi gün acil bir conference call yapıp nasıl ilerleyeceklerini konuşulacağı haberi geldi bizlere. Tabii bu hiç daha önce NBA tarihinde olmamış bir şeydi. Herkesi çok şaşırttı bu durum. Buna nasıl edeceğiz? İnsanların kafasında bir sürü soru oluşmaya başladı. Hani nasıl olacak? Playoff'lar nasıl olacak? Yaz ligi var, draft var, bir sürü konu var. Bunların hepsinin geleceği belirsizleşti. Hala da kesin bir şey söylemek çok zor. Çünkü dediğimiz gibi şu an çok büyük bir belirsizlik var. Her konuda dünyadaki spor da bu konuda çok büyük, ciddi derecede etkileniyor. Çünkü çok fazla insanın bir araya geldiği etkinlikler bunlar. Ben burada NBA'in şu önemine dikkat çekmek istiyorum. Dünyada ilk durduran büyük lig NBA ve diğer bütün ligler NBA'yi takip ettiler. Tabii ki de bunlar çok büyük paralar, yayın anlaşmaları, bilet satışlarından çok büyük paralar önemli endüstri bunlar. Ama NBA buna rağmen iptal edip diğer spor organizasyonlarına da önce olmasıyla bence çok önemli bir şey imza attılar. Çok büyük bir gelir kaybı yaşamalarına rağmen sağlığın bu gelirden daha önemli olduğunu bütün dünyaya, kendileri için bunun daha önemli olduğunu bütün dünyaya gösterip diğerliklere de öncü oldular. Bu yüzden ben çok takdir edilesi bir iş yaptıklarını düşünüyorum. Bunlardı benim size bahsetmek istediğim konular bu hafta.
Teşekkürler Asım Bey. Okay, our next speaker is Mr. Matthew, and he will be talking to us about weekly meetings.
Hi, Jonah. How are you?
Fine, how are you, Matthew? How's everything?
I'm good. You staying safe?
Yep. Quarantine.
It's crazy out there, but Sky Academy has come clutch with many more online meetings this week for our youth, for our adults, for everyone out there. Some are national, some are just for specific areas in America, but thank you for Sky Academy for all these great online meetings, and I'm going to go into detail about what online meetings are coming up this week. So for this week, we will continue to have our Sky Academy online lectures. On Monday, like always, Mr. Ali Ak will continue to lecture from the Book of Fasting by Honorable Fethullah Gülen. On Thursday, Sky Academy will also have a great Q&A session with Imam Ibrahim Atasoy. Great questions are asked, which include topics from the afterlife, how to be a good Muslim, and the Holy Quran, and many more. So those are our two Sky Academy lectures by Mr. Ali Ak and Imam Ibrahim Atasoy. One's a Q&A and one's just a lecture from the Book of Fasting. Continuing on, every Sky Academy mentor also spends 2 to 3 hours every week online with their mentees on the available days they choose together, usually the weekends. This is important for mentees not to lose touch with their mentors. So every week, every mentor in their group, they form a group together and they continue to work on their spiritual and academic and social enhancement through the online platform that Sky Academy provides. This is usually spent 2 to 3 hours together, and it's very helpful for the mentees and mentors to keep in touch. Also, daily online interactive discussions are continuing. For example, every morning, Sundays are an exception, the mentors in Sky Academy get together to discuss Fethullah Gülen's new book, Dert Musikisi, or The Music of Heartache. Also, a daily online interactive discussion is at nights, and it's with a group of mentees and mentors, and they discuss the life of Honorable Fethullah Gülen year by year. They will also have special guests to talk about their memories of the Honorable Fethullah Gülen. It's a very nice interactive discussion open to all the high school and college youth in Sky Academy. Moving on to national online lectures, they are continuing, as well as they are youth-focused, adult-focused, and mentor-focused lectures. For our mentees, this week we have great lectures coming up daily. For example, some of these upcoming lectures are on Monday, Mr. Kemal Civelik will lecture about the oneness of God. For general listeners, we have Mr. Reshid Haylamaz lecturing about the family life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And the last example I will give is on Saturday for the youth and mentors. We have the lecture Muslim Identity in the U.S. by Lindsay Ekshili. These are all the updates of the upcoming week and what online lectures will happen. For further detail about national online lectures, you guys can check the Team Up link that will be sent from the WhatsApp groups or online platforms. Also, for weekly Sky Academy online meetings, a flyer has been sent. And if mentees are suspicious about or curious about what meetings they have with their mentors, please reach out to your mentors. Thank you, Mr. Jonah.
Thank you so much, Matthew. So that wraps up our podcast for today. One quick announcement. We would actually like to have one of our students join our podcast next week. If you can head out to our Twitter account, Cup of Chai, follow us, and write a hashtag, Cup of Chai, and tell us that you want to be involved and tell us the topic you want to cover.